stress-free, leave your cares at home. Leave your cares at home. Do your two-step, get your groove on. This is feel good music, you can move on. Relax, stress-free, leave your cares at home. Leave your cares at home.
Yep. Yes, y'all. What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday night. And we are here live doing what we do on the Keto Cookout, which is tomfoolery, hijinks, and overall ridiculousness. And speaking of ridiculousness, I have got the king of all ridiculousness. It was me, Charging Mopar. My man Rick is in the building.
Yes, I'm here. You better hide your ducks and iguanas.
Yeah, hide your waterfowl and your reptiles. We have Rick and Milton.
Yes, he's here.
Yes. So we
say hi, little monster. Yeah, look at the little monster. There he is.
We'll let folks come on in the room. We got Sandy. Hello there, beloved. Very good to see you. Our man Paul McGrogan is here. Love that. Carnivore Muscles in the house. Appreciate
Jonathan.
you, brother. Appreciate you being here, hanging out with us, doing nothing on a Tuesday, just seeing what we can get into. Tall Cedars says hi to Paul and Sandy. I don't know who Paul is, but I've been called worse. Oh, Paul is just talking to Paul McGrogan. I got you. I'm with you. Appreciate you being here. And same old stuff on a Tuesday, coming to you from the solar-powered studios in Jacksonville, Florida. However, I'm disgruntled. So I'll be talking about that a little bit later on there. But yeah, I'm not happy with my whole solar thing, the EcoFlow. If you guys, I'm starting to call them error flow. Eco broke. They're great when they work, but man, let me tell you what. I'm disgruntled. Although you may not be able to tell because I'm smiling. And speaking of smiling, guess who else is smiling with us today?
Hi, oh, Kitty.
You gotta give me your round of applause. Yes, we have our wonderful friend Julia with us tonight. Good evening, there, beloved. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just heard what you're saying, so don't let me interrupt. I'm doing okay.
Oh no, listen, I've it is the highlight of my day for you to interrupt. Okay, trust me on that. So, we'll get to my solar foolishness here maybe later, or not. We'll see which way the wind blows. You know, we go where the wind blows on this program here. We come in with no agenda. That's part of the charm of the whole thing. Says Cartman Muscle says emergency shoulder on my surgery. Yes, he was trying to carry a side of beef, ladies and gentlemen, by himself, all by himself. He's trying to carry a side of beef all by himself, brother. Those things are heavy, man. You cannot do that by yourself. Get some help next time. I know you got the carnivore strength and you got the keto power. But it does not make you invincible.
Yeah, he's 5 hours ahead, so he'd usually be asleep. So yeah, I was wondering what the reason was, but he answered my question. Must have read my mind.
Yes. That's not a place most people want to be.
Jeez,
what's new in fine art world there, Julia? What have you got going on? Anything new and exciting?
Been painting like crazy. I just entered my work to get into a high-end gallery in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So I'll hear from that at the end of the month. And hopefully also get on the list for Portraits Incorporated, because that's what I'm best at, is portrait painting. So I'm just putting a body of work together at this point to get it, just get it going. And I'll tell you what, 2 years ago, it's almost been 2 years before I started carnivore, I barely could lift a paintbrush, guys. I'm telling you. I would zero energy. Here I am 65 and I've got tons of energy now. thanks
That is
to this
wonderful.
way of life. It's such a blessing. It really is.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I'm really excited because, you know, it's never too late when you're an artist. Nobody cares how old you are. They just, you know, it's how good your work is. And with the energy I have now, I can just continue to work and improving myself and improving my work and sharing it with people. And it's just, I feel so blessed. I really do.
Now you said you were trying to get into high-end
Yes,
Now, do they serve Grey Poupon? Do they serve Grey Poupon?
probably do. Pardon me, and they probably have pate au foie gras as well, which I
Oh,
would go
gotcha.
over if they do.
Yeah, just wondering about that because if they don't serve,
Yeah.
they don't have any Grey Poupon. Then
Yeah,
you
and
know,
forget it. I'm not even gonna enter my work. I mean, no.
yes, and if you're younger than 40, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Uh, yeah, that's a
One
joke for the
time,
old folks out there.
I was in a parking garage one time, and some guy. This happened maybe a year ago. Some guy poked his head out the window and says, "Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?" And I just answered, "But of course."
Yeah, that's
Oh
great.
my God, I
No,
was
I love
dying.
that.
It's just
So,
out of nowhere.
so here's a question I have for you. Did you have high energy at one point in your life and then it whittled away, or is this high energy that you have now newfound since your dietary changes?
I would say newfound because I always had crashes. I
Mm.
was really addicted to sugar really badly. In 2010, I went keto, which definitely helped with mental health issues because I used to have horrendous, you know, really just horrendous depression, the suicidal ideation, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
But that went away.
Well,
But
that was mostly your ex. That was mostly your ex husband, wasn't it? That was mostly.
no, it was my
No.
parents. No.
That's even okay. Gotcha.
Oh
See, I
my
was
God.
setting up an ex-husband joke there, and
No,
ended up getting the
seriously.
whole family there. How about that?
It was the sugar addiction that did it at a very young age, and I didn't know.
Mm.
And I was always the black sheep of the family. So, but I always fought with fatigue. And I remember, like, even in school after lunch, like needing to put my head down on the desk. And of course, we had math, and we had a really boring math teacher. So I'd be just sitting there, like, nodding out, like, oh man. But the carbs, they were the enemy right from the
Yeah.
get go. And being Italian, I grew up with pasta and you know, really good Italian bread and stuff. So none of us were obese or anything because it was all really quality homemade food. But it just really messed with me, and I didn't know. I knew something was wrong with me, and I didn't know what it was. And fast forward to carnivore, it's the first time in my life where I felt completely at peace. You know, you have your days where shit sucks. Okay, that happens. But generally, you can manage it. You don't totally lose your mind over it like I used to.
Yeah.
I don't have anxiety anymore, and I have the energy that I have not had just to kind of just stay the course, stay focused, and just keep going. And with art, it's the kind of thing. It's like acting. You have to just keep pounding the doors and just keep going. And if somebody rejects you, you just keep painting and keep doing it. And I did not have the energy to do that before. So
Well, that's very interesting. I find that very interesting. In the discourse, many times people talk about regaining things that they've lost. And in this case, you're saying that you have picked up something that you didn't have before.
That's right.
How about that?
That's right. It's like
That's very interesting.
I sometimes pinch myself going, wow, like I can't believe it. You know, I do still have the emphysema, but it's not nearly as bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not on any medication, no inhalers, no oxygen, nothing like that. You know, I have my good and bad days with that, but it's nothing like it used to be. Eliminating especially lactose and stuff.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Jeanette is here. Hello there, Jeanette.
Hello.
Good to see you, beloved. Appreciate you popping in and saying hey. Who else we have in there? Carnivore Chans in the house. Good to see you, brother. Glad you're hanging out with us. Lori's Carnivore Story. Love it. Good to see you, beloved. And let's see who else there. Yes, we got Scooby the dog. Glad you are here. What else we need to say hi to anybody else? Jeffy. Jeff is in the house here. So good to see you, beloved. You're now in Georgia. I thought you were in Louisiana. You probably said that before. I can't, when you're as good looking as me, you don't have to be that smart. So, so you probably told me before, and I don't remember, man. I smoked a lot of bad weed in my life, man. A lot of seeds and stuff, man. I can't remember nothing. So I'm just telling you, I can't, hey, I'm eating all the meat I can eat, trying to, get off all that janky weed. Don't buy your weed at the end of the month. Get first of the month weed, wherever you're at. Anyway, I know you got what's Rick. Tell us here. Give us an update on the truck situation, because last time you were on, you were talked about getting a new engine for the truck. And for those who may not know, we have to keep up. This is a segment. This is the segment of the program we like to call Rick's Life.
Well, about a week ago, my friend came through. He came from North Florida. He brought me the engine. So I put the engine in front of my truck. The problem is it's missing flex plate, flywheel, and a spacer. So I have to find that, which is going to be a bit of a challenge because the one in my truck is different. So basically, I'm looking around. Now, I got a couple other friends that have stuff, and I know another guy that had some junk. So I'm just trying to find it. But what it is it's a turbo engine that they took the turbo off of it. It's externally balanced, so I have to find a flywheel that has a specific weight on it. I can get the regular flywheel, but the turbo one is very hard to find. So I got to find somebody that has the specs. Then I'll cut a metal weight. I'll just make my own. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'll make it work. But yes, I do have the engine for the truck. I did use the van to work. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I actually picked up some used cooking oil from the carnival on Monday, which was yesterday. And I went about 70 miles total in the van, although I did have to stop to pour water on the transmission. When I went to the canal to get some buckets of water, I noticed two really big iguanas. Ooh. So I thought, oh my goodness. And so I figured I'm going to get them. So I went to the van to get the net. I went out there to try to get the iguana. I got stuck. My foot got stuck in the mud by the canal. My shoe got sucked in. So I had to go out there and dig the boot out of there. Like, so, it was a pretty successful day, but the iguanas were long gone. Once I got out of there, they disappeared. They probably saw the net and they made a run for it. But
they set a trap for you and they got you with the boot. That's what they did. Oh they saw you coming. They're like, yeah, we gotta fix him. They set the trap and you went right in. They just couldn't figure out a way to notify the ducks in time so they could grab you.
Well, there were no ducks there, but I don't know if you noticed the short video I posted a couple days ago. I actually found a roadkill iguana when I was riding my bike back from Winn-Dixie. So I went ahead, I grabbed that and I cooked it up. So that made a nice lunch that day. But as for the truck, I'm hoping once I get the parts, I'll do a compression test. Whenever I can get that flywheel and that spacer, it's still up in the air, but I'm hoping within the next week or two I'll have that. And then once I know the engine's good, I'll prepare it. I'll install the new engine. I have my Bobcat and I have my, tools. I'll have that thing in there. Once I know it's good, I'll have it there in a day. And then my truck will be back and ready to go again. And then when I get the time, I'm going to pull the transmission out of my van and fix it so I don't have to stop every 50 miles and pour water on it to cool it off.
Yeah. Yes. That's, as always, an adventure from Rick there. So this concludes this portion of Rick's life, and we will segue into the next portion of the program we like to call Yep, We'll Eat It. So I make this stuff up as we go, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not familiar, it's like this is very important because I'm doing a favor for you. I don't know if you know who Channing Crowder is. I'm almost sure that you probably don't, but you might because you surprised me with your knowledge. You know who Channing Crowder is?
I think so.
Well, he's an all-around country bumpkin. He used to play for the Miami Dolphins. He went to school at the University of Florida, All-American linebacker, played for the Dolphins. I think
That's the one I'm thinking of.
somebody else do. Well, he is, he's a carnivore. I mean, he's not carnivore like we are, but not like we are, but he eats anything. I mean, it's basically he'll put some potatoes and vegetables with it, but he's eating about any kind of meat you can eat. And he says, do not waste your time eating possum. I need to find the clip and send it to you. But he was on a show. I can't remember to it. Shout out to Channing Crowder if he's out there somewhere. I can't remember. He was on a podcast. He was a guest, and they were talking about hunting and all the crazy things he's eaten and all the different kinds of things he's killed and ate. And he says possum meat is disgusting, and he will never eat it again. So I thought I'd let you know, because last time you were on, and we had this impromptu segment, Yep, We'll Eat It. We were talking about all manner of armadillo and, just everything you could imagine. And so you were talking about eating a possum, and nobody had eaten a possum. But Channing Crowder says, don't do it. It's not even worth the time.
You remember when my van was abandoned for 11 years, what was living inside of the van?
A possum, I'm going to guess.
A possum.
About
and
that.
I had to catch him in a cage. I drove him about 5 miles away from here to let him go. I looked at that nasty thing and I thought, this looks like a rat on steroids. That doesn't look like something I'd want to eat. So
yeah. Well,
even for you, it was gross, huh?
Even for me.
Wow.
And I eat iguanas.
Yeah. I'll try that.
Scuba the dog says Julia cut her hair.
No, I'll let everybody in, and it's not really a secret. I wear all kinds of wigs. And I started wearing them because before carnivore, I had alopecia that was starting to happen here. And then with the carnivore diet, my hair started to grow back and it got darker. And I just kept wearing them because I have extremely fine hair, although right now it's very healthy. It's about down to my waist.
Wow.
And it's incredible. But after about 2 days, it just goes, it's so fine. And if I wash it, it ends up on the floor. It just breaks. It's super fine and fragile. So I take care of it by just wearing all kinds of different hairstyles. And it's fun because I can match, one color to whatever I'm wearing. And if I want to dye my hair blue, I don't have to mess with it. I just put a wig on. So I have fun with it. It's like a creative thing for me.
Well, I'm not saying, I want to make this clear. This is not what I'm saying, but I'm going to say what I might have said if I were ever to make a joke about your hair, which I'm not going to make a joke about your hair. I'm not. I know you can take it, but beloved, I'm not going to do that to you, beloved. I'm going to save this for somebody that deserves it. But the thought could have possibly popped into my mind. Yes, she cut her hair. It looks like she cut it with a butter knife. Now, see, isn't that rude? Isn't that terrible?
No, it was a butcher knife. Come on.
There you go. Yes, for carnivores, you sit it with a steak knife.
A steak knife, exactly.
I'm kidding. You look wonderful. Glad you're here. You look fabulous.
Thank you.
Oh, let's see what we got here.
If you don't like your hair, just buy it for $20. No big deal. Cheaper than the styling, that's for sure. Oh my goodness.
Yes. As always, if you have a question for any of the folks on the panel, you can put it in the chat. You can also pop on. There's a link in the stream. That's how Julia got here. A link in the chat. You can pop on with us. Always let folks know that.
We don't bite.
Hang out with us. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about my solar blues just briefly. I don't want to bore people any more than necessary. But
you haven't been boring, Rick.
But I can. Give me some time. Give me some time. Yes, I have, and I'm going to make a video about this. People do. My channel is about my life. Now, it just so happens that it's mostly dietary related things because that's a big part of my life and why I originally started the channel. But over time, it's kind of evolved. I brought my family on and different things, so. But I did a video with my solar panels out in my backyard. I have 6 solar arrays, and some people have asked about it, and they send me messages and emails, and hey, I see you got the solar panels out there, and I've answered some questions. But the panels are not the problem. The problem is the equipment, and I have just been tortured. I went with EcoFlow, and I don't know if this is, maybe some people out there know if there's any folks that do solar. Shout out to my man, semi-retired Bob, if he's out there somewhere in the wilderness.
Now, this is solar panels for your home?
Yes, I have 6 solar arrays in my backyard. I just didn't put them on top of my house. I didn't want anything on my house. They
Right.
generate a lot of power, and I'm very happy about all that. And I have them, integrated into my electrical panel. But the machines and the hardware that I chose to use was EcoFlow.
Gotcha.
And it's a very popular brand. People have heard of it. And again, I'm just sharing my experiences. I'm sure there's folks out there that love them, and they're probably the number one brand out there. But I have had a lot of problems with them. I had 2 Delta Pro 3s. Within 90 days, I had to send one of them back. Just error messages and goofy things, and just stopping working for no reason, software issues, and they issue out software updates and stuff. But ultimately, you get to a point where then you got to send it back. The thing weighs 200 pounds, so it's just nuts. So finally, after dealing with the Delta Pro 3s, I decided to upgrade to the next level, the next higher, which I guess was not a smart thing. And I didn't do the research that I should have done. The next level up, which is the Ultras, don't work with the Delta Pro 3s. So can't use them together. So that was a thing that I found out after I got it. But I'm like, okay, well, that's my fault because I did not research that. I should have, researched that. So I got a couple of, I've in the last 90 days, I've had 3 Delta Pro Ultras. 2 of them are currently not functional. And it's just, it's nuts. This is crazy.
Man,
So you're constantly,
it's a lot of money.
yeah. Oh, yes, it is. And it's like, and listen, when they work, they're fabulous. Like right now, I'm running on solar power with one of my 3 Delta Pro Ultras is working, and the other 2 are not.
25.
And so it's just, and you're going back and forth with tech support. So again, this may be something that's prevalent in the industry. There are other brands. Blue Eddy is a popular brand. Jackery, Anchor. There's several different brands. I chose EcoFlow because of the software and the way that things integrate and work together and talk to each other. And like I said, but it is the buggiest thing. I've been calling them error flow.
Yeah. How freaking frustrating, though.
Eco broke, yes.
Ooh.
So anyway, I don't know if people, like I said, you can shoot me an email, or if you know something about this stuff, if you have any experience with it. The problem is I'm kind of married to it now for the next several years. Because I can't return the stuff. It's under warranty for 5 years. But again,
well, if it's not working, isn't it broken?
Yeah, but after a certain period, after so long, you can't get your money back. It's under warranty, but you still got to, these things are 80, 90, 100 pounds. You got to pack them up and send them out and wait for it to get there and wait for them to send you a new one. Yeah. And it's just in the meantime, I'm trying to get all this stuff together before the storm season, obviously, because in another few months, actually June the 1st is the start of hurricane season. So
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so I deliberately did all this stuff, before, in the wintertime and in the fall, because I'm like, hey, hurricane season is over. I don't want to wait until the 1st of June to try to start figuring this stuff out.
Right.
So let me get my panels in, which they all work great and all that. Let me get my equipment in here, get everything wired up, test it, tinker with it, get it figured out. And by hurricane season, I will be ready. Well, again, it hasn't been all bad, but it's been quite a bit bad. So that is what I'm going through right now. And, I'm not happy with EcoFlow. Go ahead, Rick.
Do you know how I get power after a hurricane?
You have ducks on a treadmill out in the back. And you just, and you throw the food up on the tile, and they just get on there, and they just. Am I close? Am I anywhere in the ballpark?
Well, actually, I have a wood gas powered generator. and I have diesel generators. So I got a bunch of old seed oils for the diesel generator, and the wood generator. I have unlimited fuel because after a hurricane, what is the most common debris you're going to find? Lots of wood.
Oh, true.
So yeah, I use a technology called wood gas, where you convert wood into a vapor and then you burn it in a regular combustion engine.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I can power my whole house with it,
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
including the air conditioner.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm the
Wow.
only one in the neighborhood that after a hurricane, my living standards are higher than before the hurricane because I can go outside and I can see the stars, and all the
Right,
people
right.
move out. So that's even better.
Yeah, and you just hope that the water the water's up and brings a bunch of reptiles and waterfowl in with it there. And
Well, that's a
water goes
bonus.
back out. Yeah,
That's
there you
time
go.
to fill the freezer.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. Exactly.
Well, I do have a generator, a little generator, because I used to have a big generator, and that's what started this whole thing. Because I had a big 12,000 watt generator, and I hadn't used it in a couple of years. And we had a big storm the first week of hurricane season last year in June, Hurricane Debbie. And I went out there I'm like, oh, great. It's going to be a heck of a hurricane season this year. So let me get my stuff together. Man, I went out there. Both tires were flat. The battery was dead.
Oh,
I mean, it was just, the thing weighs 500 pounds. And I basically strained my whole life trying to drag this thing across the garage floor. I pulled everything. I pulled everything but my face. Everything but my face. Okay, my face was good, but everything. This is. I'm about to kill myself trying to drag this 3-ton thing across my garage. So I said, you know what? I didn't even do it. I left it there. I'm like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. So that's what started me down the rabbit hole with all the solar stuff. And like I said, it hasn't been all bad. But the equipment is really the biggest thing. I have 6 arrays. They're motorized. They have sun trackers. They follow the sun, and they're really cool. I'm happy with all that. They generate on sunny days. Like if it's really bright and sunny, I can generate 5,000-6,000 watts of power easy.
so it's basically the equipment that converts your electricity to power your
That's
stuff.
right. That's right.
That's not
Give
working.
the
Okay.
crash course again. I promise most people not to learn anything here. I work very hard that people come here and don't learn anything. I try my best to. That's why I have Rick here. It's just we just want to laugh and joke and have fun. We're not here to tax our brains. But the power coming from the solar panels is DC.
Gotcha.
And your electric panel uses AC. So you
Right.
got to invert the power. So it comes off the panel into battery banks and then into an inverter, and then it's inverted into AC power, which goes into your panel. The EcoFlow products are batteries and inverters both. So they can store power as well as invert the power and pump it into your electrical panel.
Which in theory sounds wonderful.
You what?
In theory, that sounds wonderful. That it can
Oh,
be
and it works fine until the machine just stops working out of the blue. It'll work fine for 8, 10, 12 hours. Then just bloop,
just
some
dies.
error message pops on the screen. You reset the thing, it won't go away. And you call customer service and they're like, well, you're going to have to box it up and send it to us.
Oh,
And the thing weighs like 80 pounds. And it's like, I'm telling you, if you buy and again, it's got a great app on the phone. You can see everything. It's all slick that way, and it's cool. But I'm telling you, if you buy an EcoFlow product, don't throw away the box. Whatever you do,
yeah,
you're probably going to need it.
The last time I had solar, it was all home brewed, and my whole system was DC. I didn't have no inverter, so I had lead acid batteries. I had like 20 of these things. And I had about 2,000 watts of power in solar panels. I didn't have the fancy thing like you got where it tracks the sun, but it was enough to power the lights and electronics.
cool.
But then the generator, that was when I needed more power. I used the generator.
Yeah, I can generate all the power I need with my inverters. I have 3 of them. They can each do 30 amps, 240 volts. So you're talking about, I mean, a typical home is going to be 100 to 200 amps. Most homes today are 200 amp service. I can generate 90 amps with my inverters, which
Yeah,
isn't
my home.
bad.
I got a fuse box.
And that's at and that's split phase at 240 volts.
I got a fuse box at 60 amps.
Yeah.
So Russ, when they're not working, are you using regular electricity at that point?
Yeah. I have it's real slick. It automatically transfers back and forth.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
you don't need to go out there and do a transfer.
It works for solar, and then if the grid goes out, if the solar power runs out, it can switch back over to grid power by itself. It does all that, or I can set it manually. I have it set up on timers and different things. But so yeah, and actually I'm running on solar now, and I've been running solar. I have it on a timer. It runs from 6 a.m. to midnight, basically. And so at midnight, it kicks off and goes back to grid power. And then it kicks on at 6 a.m. because between midnight and 6 a.m. is my least amount of power usage.
Sure. Makes sense.
There's nothing going on. So it's fine to be on the grid. I want the solar power when I'm up and doing things in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then if it runs out of power, let's say if it's a rainy day or cloudy day, then it'll switch over to grid power once it gets to batteries get down to a certain level. It'll switch automatically, and you can see the lights flicker for a half a second. It's very seamless.
Cool.
Speaking of grid power, look who it is, everybody!
Oh, hey!
It's our man Dave. Yes. Now, listen, man. It looks like you've upgraded your dig since the last time I seen you, brother. There, it looks like you've moved up to a deluxe apartment in the sky, like Jordan.
Well, I've moved to a very small apartment in the countryside, actually. So.
Yeah, somebody hit. Yeah, you finally hit the lotto, man. You probably hit the lottery, man. You've been playing the numbers all them years. Well, your number finally came in, man. Yeah.
I wish. Yeah, I keep playing, but. Yeah, I wish. I keep trying to get that.
Before we get rolling with Dave, we'll get I've been neglecting the family here. We got some comments and things. Sandy says, "Life, oh, you are pretty cute, Russ. What you trying to highlight a player, Sandy? What are you trying to? I don't know, but put your glasses on and take a look again, there, Sandy. How that goes." Jiffy says, "As handsome as you guys are, all is forgiven." Look at that. Jiffy's coming through. Yes, Jiffy's trying to holler at a player. Hey, look, we know about your wild days. You told us one time in here you was dancing on tables and stuff there. You come on over, we'll have a little Bible study. Amen. Let's see who else we got here. Somebody's bouncing around in the chats. Yeah, looks like Mitch might. That says, "Thank you, Russ. Always makes me laugh." Well, that is the best compliment anybody can give me. You think you can tell me I'm handsome or cute? That's cool. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You're a natural born liar. But when you say you're funny and you crack me up, that is the best compliment anybody could ever give me, because that's what I was born to do. I'm a natural born clown. Shout out to Mitch. I guess Mitch is doing a live stream. That's my guy. Old guy carnivore. Love Mitch. Shout out to him. Let's see here. We were talking about possums earlier there. Dave, it says possums are scavengers, have trapped the skin. Many of them back in the day, their meat smells disgusting. I guess from what we've heard, it tastes disgusting as well. Chris Long says, "Good evening, Russ." A pleasant good evening to you, Chris. Appreciate you coming by here. Scooby says, "Your hair is beautiful. Doesn't look fragile in the videos." We were talking about Julia's hair and wigs earlier there. Let's see here. Make sure I'm not missing anybody else. All right, we have a question here from my man Chance. He's a pirate, ladies and gentlemen. He's home off the ship. Arg. Just kidding, brother. Just kidding. Rick, besides iguana, what is your go-to meal? I can answer this because I know it's heart attack, fill in the blank. That's Go ahead, Rick.
That's right. Heart attack burger, heart attack chicken. Yeah, it's a heart attack duck. Whatever it is, as long as it's cooked in a lot of fat, it's going to taste good. That's for me. I try to have at least 2 pounds of beef every day, and then the rest of it is going to be whatever meat I can get my hand on. I mean, generally, I'm going to eat anywhere from 4 to 6 pounds of meat a day, depending. Like for today, I didn't have any eggs because I can't find eggs anymore. My ducks are on strike, so yeah. And the store, forget it. I ain't paying $10 for a dozen eggs. That's just crazy. So what I do, I had 2 pounds of pork for breakfast. And then for lunch, I had a heart attack burger, which is 4 half-pound patties. I can't make the buns for it because I don't have any eggs. So it's just the meat. And then for dinner, dinner was some heart attack chicken. So yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Sounds yummy.
Okay.
It is.
I'll bite. I'll bite. I can't believe I'm gonna do this, but I can't believe I'm gonna open up this box. So the Ducks are on strike.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear it. What did you kill one of them prematurely or something? They're like,
no, they're still in shock from the raccoon attack. And I eliminated the raccoon problem. But the problem is the ducks are very apprehensive. So they're probably too afraid to lay eggs in a nest because they think the raccoons are going to get them. So they've been waddling all around the neighborhood looking for a place to nest. I don't know. They're not mating either. So I guess I need to put some Viagra in the duck food.
I'm thoroughly confused now. I thought that the raccoons killed all the ducks, so there were no more ducks. But now you're saying that. Help me understand here.
Well, what happened was the raccoons killed all the ducklings, and then they started attacking the older ducks, and the ducks left. They didn't come back.
Oh, gotcha.
So, but they've been by the canal. They go around the corner. They hang out there. But eventually they start coming back. I start feeding them again. But they're apprehensive. I guess they're afraid that the raccoons may come back, so they're going all over the place. It's just a matter of time.
Stop laying the way chickens do in the winter?
Yeah, well, ducks, they're seasonal. Usually around this time of the year, they'll start laying again because we don't have a winter. It's always hot here.
Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like it goes with the rainy season. Once the dry season starts, they usually start laying the eggs because they figured out in a couple of months will be the rainy season, and that's when they like to hatch their eggs.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Swimming.
I guess they like to go swimming, and they love to swim in the puddles and everything in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's so cute. You get a puddle, and there's a bunch of ducklings swimming around in there. They're funny, but they're not laying eggs. So, and then the other problem is even if they do lay eggs, I'm not going to eat the eggs because I want them to hatch more ducklings. So I'm kind of stuck. I go to the store. They hardly ever have eggs. Eggs were like $2, then $3, then $4, then $5, then $6, then $8. Like, no, I'm not playing that game anymore. We're giving up eggs until we can get eggs that we can afford, and that's it.
Right.
I'm not made out of money.
We'll interject here. This part of the show, ladies and gentlemen, as we like to call it, Keto Cookout Wild Kingdom, with Rick Perkins. He is the third cousin by marriage to Marlon Perkins. Okay, I can't believe I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to hate myself for this later on. I'm almost positive. I understand completely why the female duck doesn't want to mate because I've seen the mating ritual and it's very hostile. No, it's not very loving. It's very hostile, very aggressive.
It's awful.
But what I don't understand is if you take males and females and put them in a closed environment, much like humans, I don't understand how the natural instinct wouldn't take over and just mating would begin.
Well, you see, it's kind of interesting because even though the males can physically mate with the females can always poop out whatever the males put into if they want to. The way they're designed, they have all these little passages and stuff like that. So even if the male does mate and the female doesn't want it, they'll just eject the duck milk or whatever you want to call that stuff.
Right.
But the other thing is the male ducks, they generally don't mate if they feel like there's danger, like there's a lot of alligators around or there's predators or whatever. They're not going to do it.
So they're
going to keep their distance.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times you'll see, like when the females are getting ready to dig a nest, they don't really mate. But eventually, when they get in the mood and they want to lay eggs, they'll start digging nests. And then the male will be triggered to start mating. And the males will mate every day with each female. I mean, they can mate with 3 different females in a day. They've got plenty of juice in there that they can inject into the females.
Yeah,
So it really,
much like Dave. I know. Dave understands what we're talking about there.
there you go.
Yeah, keep going, nigga. So
The only problem now,
I understand
sometimes you get a duck
eggs.
that just doesn't mate at all, and that's when you call them the, I don't know what you call them, but that's like the alternative duck. They don't mate with the females, and those ducks, they're rare, but they do exist, and they'd rather mate with the other males, and then they end up fighting all the time, and it can be a real problem.
Yes, we call those Liberace ducks.
We get our little guillotine ready.
Yeah.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, a lot of times I like to keep those around because they protect the ducklings. Usually the fairy ducks, the ones that don't want to mate with the females, they'll hang out with the females. And then if anything attacks the ducklings, they'll attack them. And they usually they seem to be the most aggressive too, which is really funny because I've seen them go after, a raccoon. I saw the duck over there like attacking the raccoon, and of course the possums won't even go near them because possums are generally chicken. They don't like to attack anything that's big. They always, if they attack something, they eat the eggs or they attack the ducklings. But you're
telling me that there is a coalition of female and non-female attracted ducks. They kind of move and work together.
Yes. And the funny thing is sometimes they'll even sit on the eggs.
Yeah,
I've seen the males sit on the eggs.
Yeah, humans have that too. We call them Democrats. That's not funny. I can't believe. Okay, we'll edit that out. I'm just kidding, folks. But this is the kind of information you can only get on the Keto Cookout, ladies and gentlemen. There is nowhere else that you can get this kind of behind-the-scenes wildlife information from a man who he lives it, family. He doesn't talk about it. What do you think about all this, Dave? You've been sitting there quietly.
Well, it sounds to me like those ducks are kind of like...
If you want to change your mind and back out, I can't be mad at you. I can't. Leave the room.
Those ducks, they sound like vegans or like best friends sort of ducks,
Yeah.
But I agree with the price of eggs though. My God, they're shocking. I went shopping yesterday. Actually, I went into the city. It's a 5-hour round trip. I did it yesterday driving, and they didn't have any eggs anyway. But the price of them are just so ridiculous. Like there's a cyclone. There's a cyclone on the coast at the moment. So like people here are like ants. Whenever there's a hint of a drop of rain, they all panic. And just scatter all over the place and panic buy. But like $15 for a dozen eggs is just.
Oh my God.
Absolutely insane to me. So actually, I've seen them for nearly $20 now too. So
steak for that.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. So
it's nuts.
We've got a few chickens, but they don't pump out nearly enough eggs. I like to eat about at least 10 eggs a day. So I'm going to go buy next month. I'll be buying some ducks. Actually, I've got a heap of wild ducks here. But they're like we just feed, and I've just they come up and get a feed every morning and afternoon. So that's kind of like last resort for food, But egg wise, I'm just going to go buy some ducks. I think some big laying ducks. I think.
Yeah, we'll pop in here. William McCartney is in there. My man Jersey Tom is in the building. Good to see you, brother. Bruce, my goodness, man. He is yawning right now, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee he is yawning right now. He can barely keep his eyes open, but it's good to see you, brother. Glad you are here. I kind of cut off of the eggs a little while ago. I guess just in time for the price increase. It just it wasn't really intentional. I didn't do it on purpose. It's just kind of the way it worked out. Josephine is here. Hello, beloved. It's very good to see you. Glad you come hang out with us. Yeah, make a long. I think I told the story, and people, I'm pretty sure. I think it was on the stream. I was talking about it. It's just the way it worked out. I'm gonna make a video one day. I haven't made any videos other than these videos here lately about I make I call it my Buckeye waffle bread that I make. It's just got 4 ingredients. It's got heavy cream, eggs, coconut oil powder, and coconut flour. A couple of tablespoons. Real simple. And you put it in a waffle iron and you make it, and it's very bready and it's wonderful. And so they had a sale on cold cuts. I don't know, probably about 4 or 5 months ago. It was probably right before New Year's. And they were on sale: roast beef, turkey breast, chicken breast, ham, just a huge blowout sale. I'm like, that'll be all right. So I went and bought like 5 or 6 pounds of roast beef and turkey breast and stuff. And in the morning, usually I would always eat scrambled eggs and something every morning. But this particular occasion, I just had a big, like double thick sandwich slathered with avocado oil mayonnaise, and it was delicious. And I had some coffee, and I just started doing that. I bought like 5 pounds of cold cuts, so I had all this meat in there, and I just started doing that every morning, and I've been doing that for the past few months as my first meal of the day. My big double thick sandwich. So, and there's eggs obviously in the bread that I make, but it just basically wiped out my entire egg my egg consumption, because I used to scramble. Yeah, go ahead. Did you freeze up on us, Dave? Yeah, you froze up there. Go ahead, Dave. You said something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the internet's a bit dodgy out here where I am at the moment. So I just finished lunch. Actually, I had 1 pound of lamb. Lamb's actually cheaper than eggs here at the moment. Like it's only $18 a kilo for lamb. It's a dozen eggs for $15 to $20 range. Like it's cheaper to just buy lamb. So I'm good with that.
Yeah, I got a leg of lamb in the freezer right now. I might make that next week. You might have talked that up.
Sounds yummy.
Jersey Tom says, I'd like to say you're adorable, Russ, but I can't bring myself to do that laughing. Yeah, but don't do it. Oh, that is funny. Yeah, I like lamb. And it's I tell you what, around here anyway, at Costco, I think has them everywhere. I've been to Costco in several different cities, and they always have the leg of lamb, and it comes from Australia or New Zealand, one of the two. I can't remember.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to. And it's wonderful. I pressure cook it, and it's really good. And it's, to me, a lot of people don't like it. They say they don't like it. It's definitely a little different flavor, but I like it. I would much rather have that than roast. I mean,
I just cut into steaks. Actually, I just make steaks with it. I love lamb fat. Lamb fat is wonderful.
Yes. Oh my goodness, it's so
delicious. And it's like it's 10 times the omega-3s as beef. So
is that right?
It's really good. Yeah.
Ooh, I love lamb fat. Ooh.
Yeah. So that's a good idea. I think I'm gonna do that next week. I got some steaks, and I made some steaks last night, enough to get me probably till Friday.
Well, I'm gonna go pull out a leg of lamb from the freezer then, just because you guys are talking about it is making me want some.
Yeah, I love lamb.
So good.
Especially, cook it in a lot of fat, a lot of tallow anyway, but nice fatty lamb fat, it's delicious.
Jeff, yes, I was making fun of Jeff dancing on tables way before Keto 4. Now God is good all the time, sis, all the time. And she's like, and so is meat. Yeah, good bread, good meat. Well, that's the old word that we don't say anymore. Good bread, good meat, good Lord, let's eat.
Yep.
Bad bread, good meat.
Bless the cook.
Let's
Bless the meat. Let's eat.
Yeah, this is my Buckeye waffle bread, which I will be making a video someday there, and that's from. I call him a pirate. I gave him an arg. He said, that's from
And
the
Sparrow. Oh, I love it.
They call me Uncle Chan Sparrow. Yeah, man, you rocking the parrot, brother. You making the pirate thing look real cool, brother. You like you like a mix between Jack Sparrow and Shaft, man. Yeah.
Oh.
Like, who is the man with the hook on his hand?
Yes.
Yeah, Chance. Yeah, I love that, man. That's great, brother. Appreciate you. I'm trying to get through some of these. Make sure I'm behind on my comments. Here are my things. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves while I try to figure out. I'm terrible at this stuff.
Oh, you're doing fine.
Yes, that's even. Hey, listen, now you want a tough crowd. Bruce says you look cool, Chance. That's a tough crowd right there. Bruce don't like nobody. He's mean as a junkyard dog. Bruce, I'm telling you. Okay, so we'll go back to the Wild Kingdom here, and as we're starting to wind down. So, what is your plan, Mr. Perkins? We have Rick Perkins with us, ladies and gentlemen. So, what is your plan to jumpstart this duck mating? Do you need to maybe find a way to bring them in and maybe darkness or something like that, bring them into the pen, put maybe covers over the pen so they don't know where they are and they just kind of have to, I don't know. I'm thinking out loud. I'm thinking what might shock a duck back into, his normal routines.
The best way to get a duck into the mood for mating is to give them lots of duck food. And like you said, fence them in where they don't have to worry about predators. Once they realize that they're safe and they got plenty to eat, then they have nothing else to do but mate. And they will mate like crazy. And the thing is, you'd be surprised at how often they can mate. And it's really funny because they'll be there hanging out like nothing's happening. All of a sudden, it pounces right on the female and gets to work. So it's it's predictable.
I don't suggest you watch that, ladies and gentlemen. I was lured into watching duck mating. My life has never been the same. It's just hostile. It is violent. It is aggressive. It's
traumatized.
It was the worst 2 hours of YouTube I've ever seen in my life.
It's like a train wreck. Like you don't want to look at it, but you can't look away.
It was horrible. Right. I mean, that poor little female duck was just. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It was just. I can't believe. You got to warn people. You definitely. You say, hey, you should go on YouTube and Russ and see some duck mating. I'm thinking, they got a little romantic thing going. No, it was straight thug life. Okay. It was straight. It was gangster. Yeah, it was.
No dating involved, mate. No dating.
Yes, it was hostile. It was violent. It was very aggressive. And
I've got a question for you there, Rick. The females don't lay eggs without mating first, or like chickens?
Ducks are a little different because the ducks will not start laying eggs until they're stimulated to lay eggs, and generally mating will do it. Now, if they don't have a male to mate with, eventually they'll have to lay the eggs, but sometimes they can become egg bound, and that usually they'll just die from that. So if you want to get the eggs moving and you don't want them egg bound, they need regular mating because the regular mating stimulates them to eject the eggs more often. If they don't mate, they might have a couple of eggs build up and then it gets stuck, and sometimes it'll break, but a lot of times they just die because they can't pass the eggs anymore.
Oh, okay.
But chickens don't need that. They can just lay eggs and no problem.
Chickens.
Yeah, because they're bred that way. You got to remember that the commercial chickens, they're bred to grow quickly and to produce a lot of eggs. But these ducks are
stimulation. They still prefer like if they stop laying, if you get a rooster, chickens will start laying anyway, whether they mate or not. They'll start laying just because there's a rooster around.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's all they need then. Just a
that's
just
right.
a view. They need a view.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, little masculine energy in the building.
They're good.
All they need is a friend.
Yeah. Yes, Lori, I do call people beloved because they are beloved. We are family and we love everybody here. Just about. There's a few people that I don't. But besides Rick. So Bruce says, actually, I was yawning just as you said that. See, I know my people. I am a man of the people. I understand my subscribers. I understand. Yes, I got you, brother. So we're gonna put you out of misery here pretty soon. Oh, and Lori's right there with you. She says, I can't keep my eyes open. Good night, all.
Lori.
Good night, my dear. Appreciate you being here hanging out with us. And Josephine says she slow cooked lamb for dinner. Can't wait. Yes, I used to do some slow cooking. Now I pressure cook. It's basically like slow cooking, hitting the fast forward button. That's really the best way I can. That's the best way
I
to
can't wait
do
that
it.
long. I never slow cook anything. If it doesn't cook in like inside 10 minutes, I don't want it.
Well, you must not eat. You must not eat brisket because if you try to cook brisket for 10 minutes, even in the pressure cooker, yeah, I was gonna say
I did try cooking a brisket once. I cut it into steaks, but it's like as tough as boot leather. Like you need a chainsaw to cut it.
What? Well, yeah. I mean, you talking about after it was cooked?
Yeah. I just cut it into steak. I just fried it. I didn't.
Oh, gotcha. So you didn't know what you were. You didn't know what it was or whatever.
Yeah.
You got certain things you can't.
Tried it.
Yeah, oxtails are like that too. Certain cuts of meat you cannot just grill them or fry them. Oxtails are like that. You got to slow cook them. Like roast is like that to a large degree too. I mean,
that's why they invented engines.
That's right.
Yeah, you can slow cook it however you like. It could be a smoker or whatever, but it's just there's no way to grill it or whatever. Yeah, your dog will love it. but if you try to eat it, you're gonna.
V8 diesel is the preferred slow cooker of the Miami Yeti.
Dutch ovens work great for that.
I've cooked a lot of meat on the engine, and when I get my truck running again, I'll make more engine cooking videos.
Cool. Can't wait.
That's it. The chef.
The engine chef.
Yep, Scooby's going to go and watch the president. That is great. I will catch the replay. We're going to wrap up here in a minute, and then I'm going to go heat up some steaks that I made earlier. I made yesterday, I should say.
Yeah, Rick, I think you'll have to start a new channel and call it V8 Diesel Cooking.
Yeah.
V8 diesel. I love it.
Crank.
Diesel done.
They have all these different playlists. You have like iguana, duck, chicken, and
right.
slow cook.
But does it start with a canal in the parking lot?
What is that any way you want?
Oh, it's time to have some iguana. Let's head over the canal to get one. Then you get it.
Start with the hunting trip. But the first 30 seconds or first minute be the hunting trip. So the car park chicken or canal iguana or some sort of pond duck.
There you go.
Yes.
And, if you make a long trip, like you got to go from here to Tampa, that's when you can do the brisket. You put that right on the engine. By the time you get there, it's perfect.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can time it by distance. Like if you want to just tell them, like, okay, you've got a 45-minute drive. That's how long the brisket cooks for. So
you want to get at least 4 hours.
If you want to smoke brisket, most people are thinking hickory. He's thinking motor oil. That's
well, most people put motor oil on their salads anyway, so I'm sure they're right.
Rick uses it to run his vehicles.
Oh,
that's right.
My
vehicle is powered by seed oils.
There you go.
Yes,
that's all it's.
Okay.
At least it's a good use of it.
It is.
I can explain this. I call the ladies beloved openly. The men are beloved as well, but we just don't have to say it because we're dudes. That's how we roll. You see what I'm saying? It's just, the women like to hear that. See, the ladies, all my beautiful keto cuties, my lovely low carb ladies all over the world, they are beloved. They know this, they understand this, and I share the love with them that way. Dudes, we just give each other one of those. We just like, hey, that's all we got to do. We know what it is.
All you need.
That's right.
Anything more than that's okay.
That's right. The ladies need a little more attention, so we acknowledge them verbally with the beloved. Yeah. Arg to my man there. I gave him an arg. That's it. Come on, man. If that ain't love, what ain't love? You hit a brother with arg. Come on, man. So yeah, it's yeah, total. Yes, he tortures himself. But I can tell you, my man Bruce and all the other beloved folks that hang out with us, the torture is over because we have met our contractual obligations to the family on a Tuesday night where we come in here to talk about everything and nothing. We want to thank my man Rick Perkins for showing up. Julia rocked with us the whole time. Beloved, appreciate you there. My man Dave down under came through for us in the clutch, man, to save the show. And I'm so grateful and thankful for all you guys. I hope you have a great rest of the week. And as always, keep your carbs low, your proteins and fats high. And we will see you next week on the Keto Cookout.
All right.
That's right.
Bye, everybody.
See you.